Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Mr. Emeka Ngige is still with us in the studio. Now, one would have thought that since Ita and the NIA DG, Ayodele Oke, both served in the previous administration, and they are, okay, let's say NIA, he was sacked. But for Ekpeong himself, he was in the former administration and he's no longer serving. What implication does that have on EFCC zeroing in on him?
Well, being a former DG of DSS does not confer immunity on him. He's like any other retired public servant. My worry is, for a person of his standing, did EFCC write him, inviting him to come to their office? Did they write to the present DG of DSS that we want their predecessor to come, that we have issues to discuss with him, and then copy the presidency? I believe if this had been done, I'm in the dark about that, but if it had been done and he refuses to honor the invitation, then I think EFCC cannot be blamed for going to effect his arrest. Because he's no longer,
that's the catching point, he's no longer in service. And the other one, the NIA DG IOK, is sacked. How then is Ekpeong able to resist arrest?
No, he could resist arrest because when you retire as a DG, just like if you retire as an IG, you have, as part of your rights, I'll call it right, or privileges.
So does that mean the rights and privileges is conflicting with immunity?
No, let me finish. You have some men attached to you to guide you as a former, they have been involved in security work. So you can't leave them to be going unprotected. So he may have used those security guards to prevent his arrest. But I believe that if there had been interagency cooperation, esperidical, such scenario wouldn't have played out. If you recall, past heads of the armed forces, former chief of naval staff, former chief of air staff, they had all been arrested and they are facing trial. They are security chiefs. Nobody is saying that because somebody was a former chief of air staff that he cannot be arrested. They are facing trial at the Federal High Court now by EFCC. So what makes them different from Oke or from Ekpeong?
If the EFCC and the DSS, the NIA, all report directly to the president, and there is a feud such as this one we're seeing, what then should the presidency be doing, or the president himself? Because if these three clearly is a battle and show supremacy over the other, what should the president be doing?
You see, that's why everybody is surprised. I'm surprised at the scenario. There is a law called National Security Agencies Act. That is the law that created DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, DSS, or as being called now, and then NIA. Gave them their powers, their responsibilities, and then created the office of a coordinator. All of them report to the president. But the framers of the law envisaged there could be conflict. So he created an office of a coordinator for all these agencies, which now is being occupied by National Security Advisor, NSA. The NSA is the one that coordinates three of them, including the EFCC, because EFCC cannot reach the president on any security matter without passing through the NSA. So the question now is, what is the NSA doing That is the issue. Is the NSA happy with this conflict going on? It rubs off on him because he's the one that should ensure that this conflict between NIA or between EFCC or between DSS does not arise. He should be the one that will be coordinating, going around. Like now, if they need Mr. OK, EFCC can write to the NSA, apart from writing to the DG, DSS, copied NSA, that we want Mr. Pt.1 to come for questioning.
So then the question that is next now is, what is the Ngige, Babagana Ngige committee set up to investigate the NIA DG? It hasn't come up with its report. Yes. Should the EFCC wait for that report to come out before it acts, or can it carry out its own investigation on its own?
Well, if there is an aspect that borders on money laundering, EFCC can investigate it. You know, because of the security challenges the country faced in the last administration, they use the subterfuge of security to loot the country dry. You take money that it is for security purposes. It gets into a company in which you are the you are the director and your wife co-director. The next thing, from the account of that company, it goes to a property selling company in Dubai or in Banana Island.
Are these facts, or are you just
no? I'm just the issue that EFCC can investigate. If there is money traceable for the purchase of personal properties by these people involved, you are asking me whether there are the facts, but you can read it from the evidence so far given on the former chief of air staff. Okay, the money they are collecting.
We have some questions coming through from Abuja. Maupe, go ahead.
Well, yes, there are questions as to whether or not the EFCC had also seen an instrument. I don't know if you're aware of any instrument that was signed, that was said to have been signed by former head of state Alhaji Abubakar, General Abubakar then, which says that the DSS is not accountable to anyone in terms of expenditure apart from the president. Your colleague had been here on the program to say that the EFCC did not have any right to arrest the former DSS DG because they were protected under that instrument. Are you aware of any such instrument? And do you think that if it does exist, it will be improper for the EFCC to proceed as they have done?
Well, I saw that instrument on the social media.